Yo, what is up? How's it going? What's good? What's good? What's poppin'? What's poppin', bro? We have our AMA in about like an hour with Shrapnel. We got Joe Boy coming in. We have Jaden from BR1. He's gonna be joining too. Oh, let's go. Sneaky from Shrapnel. What's
Can you
up?
hear me
What's good?
okay?
What's good? Yes, we
How's it
can.
going? Doing great, guys. Doing great. Christmas weekend, getting ready for the holidays. Going to be a blast. Going to talk a little bit of Shrapnel
Let's
with
go.
Ghost Cat. Let's go. Excited to be here.
Nice, dude. It's exciting to have you on, man. Dude, there's so many clips of everyone playing. I'm so jealous.
I
Yes,
know, that's all I'm
sir.
seeing right now.
Such a great time to have a spaces since we just had that in-person studio event. So plenty to talk about and get into. I
Yeah.
would love to pick your guys' brain. You guys are seeing it on the timeline. You tell me what you guys are thinking of it. Let me just sit back and hear what your guys' opinion are of what you're seeing.
Oh, I love the gameplay clips, bro. I think that's most important. You guys are heavy on like showing what you have now, even though like you guys might not be ready to release like a playtest for everyone. You guys are still releasing gameplay, what it looks like in the development
Yeah,
process. Like that's great.
I love to see the gameplay also, because I feel like it was like a mystery for so long when I was like watching the Shrapnel come alive. Man,
Well,
there
it
was always that
still
one
is.
trailer.
It still is a bit of a mystery, but we're trying to decloud it a little bit as we move toward that early access that's coming. Um, Ideally in January 2024. Don't hurt me, guys, if it gets pushed back. You know how game development and Web3 software development goes in general. But
You heard
super
it here,
excited.
guys. January. Confirmed.
I don't know about that. Don't wait till the Twitter and the official announcements go out about that. But super excited that we are fortunate enough to bring in people from the community into our game studio. It wasn't just influencers; it was also longtime new members who were like mods, also just holders of our operator NFT. So it was awesome to get their real like in-person feedback of what they're thinking of the game, and really just to interact with the dev team and get what the community's feeling like in terms of how their sentiment is. And we're just super amped because we're actually opening up the build to the public here for the first time, and that's coming through early access. We're going to be giving out a ton of extraction pack codes. I think we're already going to be doing a giveaway with you, Ghost Cat.
Yes,
If we aren't, we
sir.
definitely have to. And then also, those packs are for sale on our website, but you're going to need one of these extraction pack codes to actually get into early access, get into the gameplay, and be able to play. But again, guys, as you're seeing, it is still very, very early in development. It's still very raw, unfinished. And so I do want to catch this with like all the people out there, because there's been a trend in video games. I think you've seen it, right? Where they call quote unquote beta access for like a full game launch and release, when it's like, I don't know if this is actually beta. This seems like a fully fleshed out game. Our game is like straight up like alpha, 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 if you want to call those things beta. Okay, so literally, like, you guys are going to be seeing unfinished textures, unfinished renderings, and buildings, things like that, what we call in our gray box format.
Mm.
So you're not going to see like a lot of the feature rich artistry and graphics that you can expect when the full game release happens. But to sort of give you a little bit of a taste of what that world is going to be like, we've actually fully rendered out, fully artistry and detailed a complete corner of the map that we're calling the beautiful corner. So it's pretty funny. There's this juxtaposition of our map right now where like 80% of it is in this like gray box, super sterile, just like, boxes of things and things like that. And then you get into this beautiful corner. You're like, what the heck? This is like a totally different universe. It's fully like, glitzed out to the nines, and it looks phenomenal. It's based off of Tokyo. If people haven't been able to see glimpses of it yet through the streams, then they'll definitely be able to admire it in early access. But again, we're so excited to be on this journey with the community in particular, because as game developers, usually you're keeping these games in a black box for literally years until they're ready to be released like fully to the public, and that's when you get like feedback. So even our studio, our game design team, this is a very new experience for us to be able to open up and incorporate the community feedback this early in the process. But again, I think that's just gonna like be magnitudes of impact for the end product in terms of how successful that can potentially be, because we're able to get the feedback from the community of, hey, like, what is actually fun in the game? What do you like least about the game? And being able to go back, rework and retool the things that might need improvement, double down on the things that are fun, and then ultimately, hopefully have an even more refined product for when we get to full game release. So tons to unpack today. I'm super excited to get into it, guys.
Yeah, no, that's what I like when you're talking about. That's what I appreciate about like Web3 games. Like they're all, people don't like it because it's not, fully developed and like, oh, I want this, but they're not. They're very impatient. Gamers are very impatient, but I appreciate it because these games are gonna be like 100 times better than when like a AAA title like Call of Duty or Battlefield just release, and then they get feedback from players, and it's like, this is trash. How many years of development, and this is what you come out with? Like, when you're developing in the open and having players test it like this early, you're able to like refine everything. So when you're promoting the game, like it's ready, and when gamers come, they're gonna be like, oh, this is sick. Like, I love that. I love giving feedback to these games. I think it'll help a lot to make them a lot better when they release.
Yeah, and it's really nice that we're such a young team in terms of our size and company history, in that we've had, people from our team come from like Bungie and working on like the Halo series, right? For example, Bungie is a studio with literally 1,000 people compared to our studio, Shrapnel Studio, is 100. All right. So just in terms of like sizing for being a AAA quote unquote studio, we're pretty small for the ambitions that we have. But what that allows us to do is to be more nimble and agile and responsive to that user feedback, right? It takes a lot more effort to steer a bigger boat or to change direction. So if you're like an oil tanker, if you're a Call of Duty, a Blizzard, an Activision, it takes so much to make product changes. Just even like a little bit, just to turn that huge oil tanker just a little bit, it takes so much effort, right? But us being such a more smaller team, we're really able to take that user feedback and action on that and iterate on that much more quickly. So hopefully we're able to, maximize our team's potential in terms of it being, smaller, but that also is a benefit on one end in our ability to be responsive and actually be able to make changes where we see appropriate.
Yeah, for sure. Alfred says pepperoni pizza. This is what I think of Shrapnel, and he says he loves pepperoni pizza.
Let's go. That's what I like to see.
All right, so we're gonna have someone else joining right now from BR1 to be included into this chat that we have going on. So that's part of the special.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So he's joining. He was just having.
We love BR1. We love all FPS games in Web3. We don't see any game, even if it's the same genre as us, as competition. We really see it as, if you're a Web3 game, we're in this together, and a rising tide lifts all boats in this space. And, whoever brings in more FPS gamers, then that's great for us, because, we're gamers too. And I'll tell you, like, most of the people in our studio, they're currently not playing just a single title right now. If you ask any of our team members what games they're playing multiple games. So I think there's enough room in the ocean for a lot of us to exist, and super, super excited to see just more great games and more great, developers be coming to Web3. It's just going to move progress forward.
Yeah, for sure. Lion King says, I see them as games Ghost Cat's probably going to get him to try and play. True. All right, we have Evan here from BR1. Let's go. Let's do some introductions real quick. Obviously, people in my stream know me. If you're new to the stream, I do mainly Web3 content. I do play Fortnite though, and whatever else community feels like playing sometimes. And we also have another content creator here, Joe Boy or Explosive. So you can take it from there, sir.
Yeah. I'm Joe Boy. I mostly go by Blosif. That's my gamer tag in all games I play. But I'm pretty much the same as GhostCat. I just love streaming and playing video games for hours on end.
Yeah.
I'm excited for these big AAA games to be coming out in the Web3 space.
Let's go. All right, Ryan, would you like to go next, sir?
Would be my pleasure. What's up, guys? My name is Evan Ryer, and I'm the CEO and co-founder at Bravo Ready. We produce a couple of games, but our flagship title is BR1 Infinite, the world's first real money shooter, where you could play for money, you could play for free. The main premise is, in our shooting game, you pay a bit of money to enter an open world shooter, where for every player you earn the equivalent amount. So in our $1 server, pay $1 to spawn. For every player you eliminate, earn $1 USD, baby. Excited to be here and talking to you guys.
All right, and then now Sneaky from Shrapnel.
Yeah, it's your boy Sneaky Che from the Shrapnel team. I'm part of the Web3 team here, and if you're not familiar with Shrapnel, we're a AAA first-person extraction shooter building on the Avalanche blockchain.
Let's go AVAX. Okay, that was one of my questions. Yeah, I got this honey hat from PlayGG. Man, what a great event.
Yes, sir, brother. I was there too.
Wait, you were?
Yes, sir. I was with the Play Alchemy Battle for Onkos folks. They're my great friends.
What?
And so, yeah, it was a good time.
Whoa, that's crazy. Did you see me there? I don't know if you would remember.
Were you one of the streamers in the boxes?
No, I was just walking around making friends.
I saw you, brother, but I don't know if we got to make friends. So at the next one, we're definitely going to have to get together.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually, I really want to go to Breakpoint next year. That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, are you a big Solana guy? Or where's your sort of crypto history?
I love Solana.
Let's go.
I started streaming like 2020 during COVID. I was actually doing pretty good, and then I stopped. So I was doing Star Citizen streams, which is another space game MMO, but I was doing good, and then I stopped, and then late 2021 is when I started to stream kind of full-time-ish, but more consistently. And I got into Web3 2 years ago, a few months into it, and I loved the possibilities, and I loved everything about it that it brought to games. And when I discovered Solana, I actually discovered it through Star Atlas. And dude, I've just this entire year I've been loving what they're building. I think what made me love it was the fact that they were pushing through despite what had happened, and that despite how the market was looking. And yeah, that's that.
I love Solana. Is BR1 on Solana? I'm sorry, or what chain is BR1 on actually?
So we are a fairly chain agnostic game. When we first launched our MVP in 2022, we did release characters on Solana, our Ape operatives and our Droid operatives. And as it looks right now, we're going to keep it exclusive to Solana. As is, the community has provided a substantial support. We enable users to deposit and withdraw funds in Solana and Solana-based USDC. And it's been an effective on and off ramp. It's something easy, user adoption is high. So, there's certain things you can only do on Solana, I think.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Dude, I fucking love BR1 and I love Solana from a personal perspective, literally in terms of a retail chain. I don't think there's a better home. Also, the dynamic fee structure that Solana has based on the different types of transaction, based on the organization in terms of how much total percentage of transaction of block space they're taking up. I don't think it's actually delved into deep enough how impressive the technology stack underneath Solana is, but literally the user experience obviously shines. And being on Avalanche C chain, I can tell you guys, like, dude, it's like the actual C chain mainnet is a bit of a shit show for fees. Thank goodness for us, we have our own subnet. Not everyone has the opportunity to be able to afford that, because you do need to have, I think, a minimum of 5 Avalanche validators to validate your own subnet, and there's also additional costs in terms of setting it up. But literally, that's the only way we're able to be insulated from what else is happening on chain, in terms of like, hey, if gas is spiking over there, it doesn't affect the gameplay for Shrapnel. But there was definitely trade-offs and costs associated with that. And it's interesting seeing how different chains are taking on load, especially as we're ramping up to increased adoption and increased visibility. And Solana's been holding great, and you can see all the activity there. And hopefully there's a few Avalanche upgrades that are coming that I think will make things a little bit better. But we'll see what happens. I love Solana though, as a personal sort of thing.
Yeah.
And sneaky, you're a man of culture here. A strong understanding for for how the chain ecosystem actually functions. I'm impressed.
What's the best wallet to use for Avalanche?
Dude, I've been a degen for too long, and not a good one, obviously, because I'm still in the space. For Avalanche, literally, I'm just using my MetaMask wallet with a hardware ledger, and it's just easy because Avalanche is also an EVM compatible chain. So I use MetaMask for most of that stuff, just to keep it in one place. And then obviously you can also use Phantom. I think also they're also expanding into EVM chains.
Oh, you
so can? I don't know if you can. I might have misspoke there.
Okay.
But they should definitely add it.
Time using the Avalanche, so I was just wondering.
They should definitely add it. But yeah, MetaMask is like my main one.
Yeah, MetaMask. Yeah. Okay. So for everyone here, I think I want to ask this. So what is Shrapnel? Like, what game genre is this?
Yeah, we're a extraction shooter, so similar gameplay to something like Escape from Tarkov or Battlefield, The Division, or The Division, or even the newer Call of Duty game mode. I'm not quite sure, but essentially you have a persistent loadout that stays with you across gameplay sessions, that you're able to choose ultimately what you go into a gameplay session with in terms of your build, your kit, in terms of like guns, attachments, all of that. And it being an extraction shooter, all of those items are at risk that you bring into a gameplay session. So you can lose those if you die. You can take items from other players if you kill them. And then you can also find loot within the game. And ultimately, your goal is to survive and extract. And unlike a battle royale, it's not like there's only one winner take all. There are actually multiple winners across the play session, because there's going to be multiple opportunities to extract. So if you're a player, you may have got like some early game kills, you feel like you had a good session, you're running lower on health, you don't know if you want to make it all the way to end game, go ahead and get on like a first or second dropship out of there. End your game session early, no water off your back, you didn't lose anything. But if you really want to go into that end game, look for that most valuable loot, because we're seeding it toward the end of play sessions to incentivize and entice players to stick around. Then it's going to get a lot more competitive and a lot more risky, because once you're working toward that final extraction point and opportunity, only one person at the end can get off on that final extraction. So then it does become really, really high stakes and competitive in the end game of a play session. But then you as a player get to determine, how long you want to stay in there. If you want to risk it for the biscuit all the way to the end, or if you want to, scoodle on out of there early.
Okay, dope. Okay, so what do you think are unique features from Shrapnel that separated from other games in the genre, like Tarkov or Dead Drop or the new mode in Call of Duty? Like, what makes it stand out amongst those?
Yeah, so like obviously gunplay is like everyone has gunplay, and so what differentiates us are what we call Sigma abilities, and these are non-gunplay special abilities that you have to charge up
Ooh.
during a gameplay session. You get to choose what Sigma ability you have when you go into a session. There's going to be multiple different abilities to choose from, and you have to choose one of them. Like one of them is our Sigma Push or Sigma Force ability, which is essentially you get to shoot out a projectile of force out of your hand. So whether you're in like a short range gunfight with an enemy, you run out of bullets and you need to reload, you can go ahead and push them away so that you get out of that engagement. If someone throws a grenade next to you, you can go ahead and force field, push that away so you aren't getting damage from that. And so throughout the gameplay session, there's going to be randomly generated Sigma storms is what we're calling them. And this is AI generated so that it is not going to be repetitive session over session. So you can't just camp the same area saying like, oh, hey, the first Sigma storm is going to show up here and I'm going to charge up my abilities and get all the Sigma and win. No, that's not possible. The AI element to this actually makes it so that each gameplay session gets to be unique and has a different feel to it. And so there's random Sigma storms that happen throughout a gameplay session where Sigma is deposited in these concentrated areas. And it's up to you as a player to decide, hey, is it worth it to go into this high conflict zone because everyone else is thinking the same thing, right? Like I need to get some of this Sigma to charge up my Sigma ability, because that's how it works out in terms of how we're doing the power curve of getting to the end game, is where if you're getting into an end game confrontation, you're going to be at a serious disadvantage if you go up against a player with a fully charged Sigma ability and you don't have one to also counteract that with. So there's going to be a lot of dynamic sort of decision making for players about like, hey, do I want to go get some Sigma? Do I not want to? Is that going to put me at a disadvantage later on in the game if I don't do it now? Or like, am I even just going to like totally die trying to get in there because there are going to be like other players also fighting for it? So again, those Sigma abilities are non-gunplay abilities that I think really, give us that unique feel of like, okay, hey, how is this different? I would say that's how we are.
I didn't expect that. That's really dope, actually. I love that. I love when there's a game that brings something new to the genre. Like that's what I love about BR1, right? It's a battle royale, but it's bringing something unique to like games in general. So I think what you talked about with all the Sigma, that's so dope, dude. That's such a cool new feature being brought into
that's really cool.
Extractions, yeah. So I have a question for everyone here. Now that we talked about that, what are your favorite gameplay mechanics when it comes to like FPS or third person shooters? Ryan, do you want to go?
Yeah, someone else take it.
I'm a big fan of like a PUBG style third person shooter, and that's where the inspiration for BR1 came from. I love Rust, which is like very similar to Arma or DayZ. I love a good open world adventure style game, and I think third person character controllers really do a good job of experiencing that.
Mm-hmm. Sneaky, you got a favorite?
Gosh, I don't know what my favorite sort of individual thing is. I just like to get into gun battles with kids. I am like the worst
I'll agree with that.
I am just like the worst at peeking, and literally I'll get headshot like every time. But I just love being a potato against another potato, and you two just like literally leaning from a corner, and it's like, okay, who's gonna actually hit one of these random strays first? And it's just a lot of fun. I'm not good at FPSs, but I have a lot of fun when I can at least, play with friends and stuff.
Same. I'm pretty trash, actually.
I got a question about Shrapnel. Is there going to be like proxy chat?
Ooh.
So that's actually a very good question in terms of, yes, we are looking at proximity audio in terms of voice comms being in-game. We just haven't totally fleshed that out. But yes to sound playing a big factor in gameplay for Shrapnel. So understanding how much sound you're making and, using sound of opponents as well.
Okay. And when you extract, is it only going to be solo, or could you extract with, like, say, another random that was playing? Because I know that's how it kind of was in Dead Drop.
Yeah, that's a
at the final extraction point, you could, like, be friendly or not, you know?
Oh, yep. So you can for the earlier extractions, but the final extraction, only one player gets out on that one.
Okay, I like that.
Ooh,
So
that's
at
competitive.
least for the solos, right? There will be duos and squads modes
Oh, we
released
were
later on.
just gonna ask
But initially it's
that.
going to be solos. Yeah, just
Okay.
you versus PvP against another lobby of players.
Okay, that's awesome. And I think my biggest question is controller compatibility.
Another question. That's another good one. Yes.
That is
That's
a
like
good
I'm a
question.
controller player
Yes,
at
sir.
heart.
Oh,
So
my stick boys, I am advocating the heck of
let's
you to
go.
get it for
Thank
early
you.
release. I know at a minimum it is coming, but like I'm like, hey, we should have it come as soon as possible. So I'm really
I
pushing
totally
for
agree
that.
with that.
It's on the roadmap. So yes, controller functionality is coming to our desktop game, so you can, have those controller inputs. I just don't have a firm date on when. And then yes, eventually we do want to get into console. We want to be on Xbox. We want to be on PlayStation. Part of it's also like a function of like those distribution platforms being friendly to Web3 games as well. And so it will all work itself out over time. But initially, yeah, we're just going to be releasing on desktop, optimized for PC through the Epic Game Store.
Nice.
It's
Will you
gonna
guys?
be epic if it ever comes to console or any of these Web3 games do. That's what I'm really hoping
Dude,
for.
yeah, dude. When
That's
okay,
gonna be
dude. I have
huge.
so many viewers that play on console that don't have PCs. Kind of
Yeah.
sucks because they want to play, but they can't. That's gonna open up a ton. But are you guys gonna be available for Mac as well? Because I think that's another huge player base that a lot are missing right now.
Yeah, not for early access, but
Okay.
definitely for full game release. We need to be available on Mac for, like you're saying, right? Getting the available player base that we want to. We're already limited in being like a Web3 game, right? So if we limit ourselves even more by not being in front of the gamers like where they're at right now, that's just double hamstringing ourselves. So we're going to do our best to be in as many places and as many distribution platforms as we can. Like, for example, we really want to be on the Steam store right now, but literally, like, they don't like blockchain people.
Yeah, I know.
People
I know.
like that.
I've heard people be like, "Oh, just some projects are just lazy and they don't want to do the work for Steam." But I'm like, no, they literally do not like. They don't like Web3. Like, it's not a matter of like working hard to get on there. They just don't like it. Like I think the CEO straight up said that he didn't like Web3. So are there
BR1 controller compatible?
So you can rig up controls to like you could use a gamepad as referred to play BR1. As GhostCat has shown himself, he's rigged up BR1 with his own set of controls, and there's more embedded functionality and UI for users to rig up controls directly in the game coming in one of our next coming builds.
Okay, awesome.
But
thank you.
Right now, you could choose to rig up controls using a gamepad if you have one.
Oh, okay.
Xbox would be, but actually I've got to work on making the layout for Xbox controllers and then sharing that with controller players. So are there going to be different modes in Shrapnel other than the extraction, or is that going to be like the main mode for a long time?
Yep, not at launch, and not at early release either. So extraction is going to be the main mode. And actually, for new game modes, the studio itself really wants the community to explore those new game modes versus us dictating what those look like. So we are opening up our entire game engine to our community to be able to build on top of. So to be able to take our AAA FPS platform and use it as a creative canvas to then recreate whatever game modes that they want to see using Shrapnel assets.
So kind of
if they
like a
wanna
creative
see
mode of like from Fortnite, like they have the creative
exactly how they have
okay.
their grant program with their Fortnite map editors, exactly the same thing, but now it's all native and working through our token because we've already allocated those incentives to map creators so that if you do create a map based on popularity and playability, you're going to get compensated accordingly with Shrap token. And so we're really excited to open up the tooling to our community to see what they build if they recreate, a battle royale type format, if they recreate a 5-on-5 team deathmatch similar to Halo or CS:GO, King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, everything's really on the table. And even if they want to explore non-gunplay and non-combative, game modes, like if they want to turn our engine into a platformer or into other, stuff that we can't even think of yet, we're really excited to open up the tooling to the community, and they're going to be able to get rewarded based on, if their creations are popular or not.
That's pretty dope. I like that. Okay, well, speaking of modes, a question for everyone again. What is your favorite type of mode for FPS? I mean, obviously, like, Sneaky, you're working on the extraction, and Ryan, you got the battle royale, but, like, are there any, like, other modes that you guys are, like, really like for FPS and third-person shooters?
I think duos and squads are a requirement. People want to play with their friends, something that we've spoken about a lot.
Yes.
It's enabling to play with their friends. Pay to spawn with a duo, you and a buddy. 10-cent game mode, 25-cent game mode, $1 private matches. Yes. Take down your opponents, revive your teammates if they get knocked, get paid, make money. It's exciting. And in a squad variety, much more designed for teams and orgs, go in a 4v4 or even in a 20v20 in an open world adventure style game.
Yes, we were just talking about that. I strongly believe that player attention would be so much better if more of these Web3 games had like partying up, duos, trios, squads, whatever, because that's huge, dude.
In Ready Player One, the book and movie, you have this group, the Sixers, and they refer. It's a corporation and their employees, but you could look at it as well like a guild or an esports org with athletes. And in the future of BR1, I want people playing in an 150-person map where 75 of the players are one team or guild, and the other 75 are another.
Yes.
And they're all coordinated with their mics, and they're they started separate portions. Everybody has different associated loadouts, and they're literally sending units and attempting to flank and lay out military tactics. And the guild managers, it's their money on the line. They paid for the spawns. And you have these generals, basically, right? These esports managers and team owners that are acting as generals. And they're sitting there watching their bank balances fight each other in an all-out war for money. It's really exciting. And it's how you build an ecosystem that attracts not only the guy who plays the game, but we build a lot of functions for the people that will never play the game, right? You design for the athlete, the guy who wants an additional level of thrill in his everyday gameplay. You design for the audience who wants to watch something that's a bit more engaging, where people are risking it for the biscuit. You design for the content creator. This game pays you while you stream. If you maintain a positive KD, much more than minimum wage. And when you stream, you're trading off real work hours, right? Nobody's paying you to host a stream right now. But if you are playing BR1 while you're streaming, you're getting paid. And then the last profile is the Web3 investor, creating items, creating an economy that drives incentive and reward between the player and these other roles to ultimately fuel a very interactive and meaningful ecosystem. And esports teams, orgs functions, scholar functions, rev share amongst athletes and team owners, renting. These are all great, incredible functions that you were never able to have in a traditional Web2 game, and we're excited to be sharing with the world this year.
Yeah, dude, I think like I was literally talking about big team battles too before y'all came on with Lion King here in chat, and I was saying that there hasn't been like a game or a game mode since Halo's like big team battles that have gotten like players excited about wanting to do those modes, because we have a mode like that in Fortnite, Team Rumble, and I hate it. Like, it sucks. But like there hasn't.
It's my favorite mode.
No.
Chaos. I'm a potato, brother, so I need.
That's true.
Need the randomization in there.
I think, yeah, but like, see, there hasn't been a game to like get people excited about it, like a good big team battle, like, because Halo big team battle, that was fun. That's been fun. So like, if a Web3 FPS third person shooter introduces a big team battle, I think that would be huge, dude. Like, but yeah, no, but I think for my favorite mode, it would have to be like duo squads. Dude, I love being able to party up with people on stream, with friends, family, because it's just a blast. It's fun winning with a team.
Yes,
But yeah,
sir. I
Joe.
would have to agree with that. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Joe, what's your favorite game mode?
Favorite game mode? Anything that is online against other people that are real people and not bots. I'm just addicted to online gaming. That's what Halo 2 is what got me really addicted to online gaming. And then ever since I started playing just online gaming in general, I don't even like playing campaigns.
Yeah, I'm not a big single player. I get bored, dude, playing single player
exactly.
games.
That's like the thing.
I get lonely. Like, it's weird, but I get lonely. I'm just like, man.
But yeah, I just say it's just as long as it's online with other people, and if I can be partied up with friends in a squad, that makes it like 100 times better. Playing solo, I can only do for so long. Even if it's online game, I have to be like, really, really invested in it.
No, it's great when you're able to party up with your friends, other people.
But that's what gaming's all about for me, really. Is just being able to like hang out with people and enjoy playing some games.
That's what I like about streaming too. It's crazy, like, dude, like, I would never have thought like I'd be like having conversations with actual like devs and people that making these like great projects. So I appreciate you guys showing up, Ryan and Sneaky. But yeah, like being able to meet you guys and meet other people from literally across the planet is insane to me. Like we're able to communicate and like have fun with each other. It's amazing. I
totally agree with that. And I love that Web3 has made it so we can actually like see the behind the scenes and watch games being created. Because as like playing Web 2 games growing up, you never see that. You just see like, okay, this game comes out, go wait in line at GameStop at midnight.
Yes, and then it flops because players don't like it.
Yeah, you get no community feedback when you're building and all that. So that's why I think these games coming out in Web3 are going to be pretty amazing, just because of that aspect.
Yeah, exactly. I think it adds so much value to the end game.
I do. For Shrapnel, I did have a question. You guys' original like NFT collection was the operator, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the extraction pack is kind of just a way for people to get in early access?
That's correct. It also has some in-game loot as well as some playable characters that are also called operators. That was a very dumb design decision because it makes a lot of confusion.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured that you weren't getting like, it's not equivalent to the main operator.
Correct. And so that's a very natural question that literally everybody has, and it's sort of like, did we not anticipate this, guys?
I just wanted to clarify that.
We'll see if some of those names get smoothed out, as we move forward through early access and full release. But yeah, that is confusing.
Okay, that's a good segue into our sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. And the next question I was going to ask, what are going to be the NFT assets that players are going to use in game? Because I know some Web3 games, they kind of split, like some stuff you earn isn't NFTs and some of the stuff are NFTs, which I don't like when they do that, right? Because it's like, just do everything. It's Web3. But like, what assets are going to be NFTs for Shrapnel?
Basically everything that isn't a consumable, so not like bullets, health packs, those type of things. Everything else in the game is going to be an NFT. So the guns themselves, the attachments to the guns, all of the cosmetics and vanity, all of those are going to be NFTs. All of those are going to be owned by the individual account holder. Their inventory is actually a wallet that we've created on the back end on their behalf. Like, so even though they're seeing it as like an inventory, it's still NFTs. And so all of that is going to be tradable within our in-game marketplace. It's all gasless, so that a player doesn't even know that they're really doing anything regarding like blockchain or NFTs. To them, it's just like an in-game auction house or marketplace. And then that's the nice thing is that if you do want to dive in deeper, you can then go ahead and connect a non-custodial wallet, bridge it out to the Avalanche C chain if you want to, go to like Hyperspace or some third-party NFT marketplace, sell your items there if you want, or keep them on ours. That's the benefit of all these items being NFTs, but in terms of like the nomenclature that we're just using the same terms that gamers are familiar with now, right? These are just skins. These are just, cosmetics. It's just a marketplace. You don't even, like, if you're coming from the Web 2 side of things, you don't need to know any of the Web 3 jargon to get into this stuff.
Yeah,
and that's by design, right?
I love that.
It should be that simple.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you have a skin, you own it. Do you want to sell it, trade it, or do you want to buy more? You can.
And I love the fact that your account, when you make it, it's got that custodial wallet, because that's what what BR1's doing too. And I love that, because everyone can still earn and get anything in game. If they want the full functionality, they can attach their own wallet. Boom. But like it's easy. Everyone could get onboarded super easily. Don't have to worry about it. And once they discover more and want to get involved, they could connect their wallets. That's how it should be. That's awesome, dude. What exactly is in the? Let's talk about the extraction packs.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's if you just Google search Shrapnel extraction pack, there should be a site or a link that pops up that's dedicated specifically to the extraction packs, and then that will actually detail out what's in each of the light, medium, and heavy. But essentially, the difference between those, all of them get you early access, but the difference is obviously the content and the loot. So the heavy is going to have sort of the most vanity and loot items, whereas the light is going to have the least. And across the board for all of those extraction packs, this is the only way that you're going to be able to get those loot items that are in them, so that once the early access period ends, all of the extraction packs are expired. All of those items in the extraction packs are going to be supply limited by how many were redeemed during the early access period. So you're going to get some different loot and some playable characters in the game, and you're going to get the most of that with the heavy pack and the least of that with the light pack. But with all of them, you're going to get into early access and be able to play the game.
Dope.
I'm really excited for the player-created content.
That's what I'm most excited for
creation. Like, that's like been a dream, as being a gamer, like to have like your own creation of like a skin or character in a game. Like,
oh, okay, that's gonna be my next question. So that is gonna be a thing. Okay.
We are already seeing, so we're opening up our entire vanity and cosmetic toolkit to our community, and we're already seeing, we've launched one tool so far, which is our insignia design tool. And this insignia is something that opens up the brighter realm of our cosmetics in terms of it can be applied to gun skins, it can be applied to armor loadouts, and anything in the sort of cosmetic realm of Shrapnel. And we're already seeing that this tool has a very steep learning curve. So like for me, for example, I'm like not good with design and creativity and using this tool to actually like fully flush out something that doesn't look like it was put together by a 5-year-old. So there's like, the stuff that's me, right? It's like literally like the little stickman drawings that are like, okay, that you're good. And then there's other community members who can literally create like a Renoir or Picasso style like painting within this tool.
I've seen
and
that.
So
it's insane.
It's insane. So you literally are starting to see community members start reaching out informally to the artists who are really able to use this tool and start commissioning personal pieces for themselves, saying like, hey, I want a super sick insignia based off of my monkey or based off something else. I don't have the creative talent to be able to do so. Can you make me one? And it's really cool to see that already starting to get seeded. And I think that's going to become a lot more sort of flushed out once we get into release. And you're going to see literally so much personalization going on within the game of people just like repping whatever they want to rep. And then we're really hoping to bring in more brands and IP into our universe, allow them a way to monetize, because they're going to be able to dictate the prices by which they're selling those insignias, selling those cosmetics to players in the game. So they get to, control that revenue because it's their creation. And then subsequently, every time that's traded On the secondary market, you also get a creator royalty for whoever originally created that insignia or cosmetic. So again, just being in Web3 allows us to align incentives and really reward creators, community members for their contribution to the sort of ecosystem.
Dude, that's sick. Okay, so the insignia is kind of going to be like a sticker you can apply to like your weapons and whatnot, basically.
Exactly.
Sick, dude.
That tool to make those, oh man, I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is crazy. I was like, I don't know if I can,
I'm making one.
No.
I'm making one right
and
now,
then
guys.
I started seeing pictures on Twitter like after I looked at that tool, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, how did they do that? Because isn't it like putting like a million shapes together and making like
Dude, it is wild.
masterpiece? Like it blows my mind.
Look, guys, I made a BR1 insignia.
Layers. Oh, I love it. I see you doing it right now. But exactly that, like, whether you're a community member of BR1 or if you're, Evan and the CEO and want to make something official, you have that ability to express that IP or express that, in our universe. And we're hoping that our community dives into that.
Yeah, that's
it's gonna be exciting to see all the player created content.
And the call sign.
I love the BR1 logo. It's so nice. Not yours, GhostCat, but the actual one. Yours is close though.
Rip. I can make a better one. Nah. What are you gonna say, Ryan? Sorry, I didn't.
No, just on the topic of creators programs, I'd say we spent a lot of time plugging creators into our associated tokenomics. And one thing we're eager to release is the program where users can create UGC and the community can vote on it to be incorporated into our core ecosystem. So whether it's like a video tutorial of how to play the game, to an animation, to even creating FBX models and weapon skins for the game itself, the way the system works is everyday users can submit, let's say, their weapon skins. We give them the FBX models, they paint on top of them, they submit them. The community has a period of time to finger through them and vote for them. Every vote is committed in the form of a token, and users commit that token to commit their associated votes. And at the end of the voting period, there are, let's say, out of 100 submissions, 10 are selected. If you voted for a winning selection, 50% of the token that is accumulated during the voting process amongst all 100 submissions, 50% goes to the creators who made the 10 winning submissions, and 50% goes to the community who voted for the winning submissions. So this incentivizes them to identify, strong, high quality UGC, while at the same time speculating on their favorite creators.
That's pretty cool. See, I've seen both sides of the UGC, like what Shrapnel's going to be doing, where they're just going to be able to create what they want, and what you're talking about, Ryan, I've seen with the Web3 game called Boss Fighters. So they actually have submissions, and the community will vote on what gets put into the game. And I think that's a really great way to engage with the community and get them engaging with the creators. But that the token system sounds dope, because then now it's incentivized for people to just put even more effort to make this stuff. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, this guy's really smart. No wonder why he's the CEO. No joke, that is very well thought out, and it incentivizes both people to participate and vote, and not only vote, but also have a good vote, not just a meaningless one for something that's shitty that other people also think is shitty, and then also for the creators. So being able to tackle both sides of that equation, hats off to Ryan and BR1. Very impressive. Great job.
Oh, also it kind of eliminates the usage of bots, because then you'd have to have a token to submit to even participate. That's nice. Damn.
What is
Alpha?
BR1's main collection?
We have two collections. We have our ape operatives and our droid operatives, and we're about to release our weapon collection. And bit of alpha, if you hold one of our ape operatives and one of our droid operatives, we're going to airdrop you a weapon crate. That airdrop is going to happen in January, and then the associated weapon mint will also happen in early February.
Let's go,
All of our-
Alpha!
And then we do our token generation event, and you can imagine if you're a holder or a community member, there's something waiting for you.
Wait, what was that? The what?
What?
The what?
My mic is rugging.
Losing
Okay,
them on
so
all the
let's
alpha.
recap, boys. So we need an ape droid, and then the other one as well,
The
and
droids.
then also get the weapon.
So
and then if we have
in BR1
all three,
Well, in standard BR1 fashion, am I rugging? Here I am.
Yeah.
We've always airdropped our holders for their long-time support. So if you had an ape, we airdropped you a droid. If you held the ape and the droid, I'm about to airdrop you a weapon crate. So you just need an ape and a droid to be able to get this airdrop and get up to speed with our existing timeline.
Okay, that's good to know. I like that whole airdrop thing and rewarding
Mhm.
the people who have been there and are holding.
Rip me. So okay, so sneaky. I've seen Shrapnel. You guys had a lot of interaction with like My Pet Hooligan, and I think oh my god, my brain's
Pudgy
slipping.
Gaming,
Which one?
Pudgy Gaming.
Pudgy Gaming? No, I didn't see that one. But with Captain and Company, I see right?
Probably. We're collaborating with a lot of people.
Okay, so yeah, that was leading to my next question is like, are there more plans for like interoperability or like cross-functional NFT assets across different Web3 games?
We are in discussions now. We haven't been able to really flush out what that looks like, but I'll tell you that the intention and willingness to do that is there from multiple parties.
Mhm.
Like, for example, we've got the DeFi Kingdom guys literally in our company Slack, and they're like, hey, how do we get, like a DeFi Kingdom 8-bit weapon to exist in Shrapnel's universe? How do we get a Shrapnel operator to be able to come over to DeFi Kingdoms? So the intent is there. It's just going to be about actually fleshing out the details to make it functionally possible. But what I think you will see in the near term is there's going to be a lot of crossover IP happening. Like you might see a Star Atlas, Star Cruiser that's crash landed on a Shrapnel map. You might see a Shrapnel
Sick.
operator also, right? Like in a Star Atlas ship, like just like mothership, walking around in space somewhere. So like I think first it's going to be more just like fabricated, done by like the different teams of just putting assets into different like games. It's just like partner plays.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the goal would be, like you're saying, to have some interoperability. So if you want to take, an asset or a cosmetic from, our universe, you can go ahead and take it to someone else's gameplay universe as well.
Or like if I had like a BR1 droid, I could use that in Shrapnel.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Win, guys. No, that's awesome. See, that's what I love about the possibilities that Web3 can bring. Because like, I mean, with Fortnite, you have all these, bro. They freaking got everyone. They're like the Disney of games, right? They've got companies and like characters from different projects that don't even go together. But I think it's awesome that with Web3, you'd be able to own a character that you bought for this game and then use it in the other game. Because I think the problem that a lot of gamers, like I've seen it, like they're like, you buy this creator like character, right, in like Call of Duty, and then, oh look, Fortnite has it too, but I got to buy it twice, So I think having that ability to take your assets across different games is huge. I feel like a lot of gamers would love that, and obviously everyone in Web3, loves to see that happen too. So yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
I think it's going to happen, brother. It's just going to be a matter of time. I think
Yeah.
first step is to have like a Web3, or not even a Web3, but like a blockchain integrated game really blow up and become something mainstream. And then once you sort of get that critical mass of like, okay, hey, you know, NFT and blockchain integration works, then I think we can move on into like interoperability and some of the more fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Web3 is the best. I love it. All right, and then I had one last question for Shrapnel. For anyone that has a PC, what are the system requirements going to be? What's the damage there?
It's still being finalized, and obviously we're trying our best to, you know, like meet in the middle of like, okay, hey, like what's the minimum? Like we want to make it so it can function on as many machines as possible, but still give like a good gameplay experience.
Mhm.
So we're still trying to find that sweet spot. So we don't even have it released internally yet as like definitive. So once it is definitive, it's going to be published to our Epic Game Store, which will probably happen here in the next few weeks.
Okay. Are you guys in the store right now? Is like upcoming already?
Yes, sir. You can go wish list us right now. Hit that bell, subscribe so you can get notified.
Let's go. That's epic. Dude, yeah, that's awesome. Ryan, when BR1 on Epic Launcher?
You know, so far we have been the solo distributor of our title. We produced and we distributed. We have over 100,000 gamers between all of our games. We're eager to come to terms on an agreement with a distributor like Epic, like Steam, as well with console providers. But we are still shopping around for the best deal we could find.
Nice. Alpha. I love
I can't
Alpha.
tell you all how insanely impressive it is to get to 100,000 players using a proprietary distribution platform. Y'all guys have no idea how much of a friction it is to do a proprietary launcher versus going through a partner distribution network. So seriously, like, hats off to Ryan, hats off to the BR1 team. Like, literally, guys, it should be a signal to you saying like, oh, hey, there's probably something here. If literally 100,000 people have to go to like BR1's website or go to BR1's launcher to be able to play their game and get into it, like that's a lot more hoops that they have to ultimately go through. And the fact that that many people have done that just goes to show that there must be something compelling there to look into. Not financial advice, guys. Don't hate me for that, but maybe to look at some apes and droids.
I'll say outright, there's always a concern that if you hinge yourself on a publisher or distributor and something goes wrong, for example, you launch your game in Steam or Epic, and then they remove you. How are your users going to play your game? How are you going to recapture them? Your user retention falls drastically. Your user acquisition flies up aggressively. Your marketing team has to pivot on a dime. So no matter what happens to us, we know that we can manage. We know we can distribute our title. We targeted a South American launch. We did a go-to-market in July and August. Was an unprecedented level of success. Brought on a lot of users, tested our tech infrastructure, and we ensured that our newest build that we'd recently released, does scale well. And it's exciting that it does. We also have another title, Aptos Arena, on the Aptos blockchain. And we launched October 20th. And in the first 30 days there, we did 22,000 monthly actives, which was really impressive.
That's my God. These guys are... I've never heard of anyone else building on Aptos. These guys are going to fucking be massive, guys.
We're the first Web3 shooter to market. We launched our MVP in January of last year. We had a playable game. Our playable game is better than it ever was. You have full ownership of your characters. They are provably fair NFTs on the Solana blockchain. We're the first high-quality FPS shooter to market in all of Web3, despite chain. And we're going to continue to deliver.
No, dude, that's not. I'm not even like thinking about how bullish I am that you're going after big blue ocean opportunities, right? Like these layer twos who are so well funded, but literally are just like dying for like a DApp or some sort of like use case to actually take a foothold on their chain, like the Suis, the Aptoses. So like seriously, like I think it's a really like good bet that you're taking in terms of like the win opportunity is so outsized compared to like whatever potential fallout or negativity could be. Like I'm gonna go like pull up the Magic Eden and Tensor and look up some droids and some apes after this call, because that's really
I'm
good to
looking
know
right
that you
now.
guys are, you know, more than just you know, BR1 on Solana. You guys are literally like doing more titles, like you said, and expanding
Yeah.
across being chain agnostic. So like, dude, big props to BR1 for just continuing to build.
Yeah, and I was actually in a spaces earlier with BR1 and some other projects, and someone said that they didn't like that that Bravo Ready was announcing that, you know, they're working on BR1 and the Aptos Arena and the other one. But I mean, I feel like the complete opposite. Like the fact that you're building out multiple projects, that you're acquiring new games or whatever. Like you're building like a reputation, right? And like it's kind of like saying, hey, I'm taking more on, but I'm gonna like push, you know, I'm gonna push a little harder. I don't think it takes away from development of like the main, you know, title BR1. I feel like it adds, a lot of
Okay,
value.
big question here, Ryan. The real alpha leak. Do we get exposure to the Aptos league through the apes and the droid collectives for BR1, or do we have to go do an Aptos Arena collection that's separate?
So when it comes to our other games, we always provide fun rewards to our existing ecosystem of gamers. Aptos Arena doesn't have an NFT. It's not NFT gated in any way. It's pay to spawn, kill to earn with Aptos. Just like Mini Arena, pay to spawn, kill to earn with Aptos, no NFT gated access. But anything we drop, we always hook up our community. Goes without saying.
Dude, let's freaking go. And oh wow, I'm just so excited.
No.
Is there any reason that you decided to use native chain tokens versus trying to do like an ecosystem token that ties between all your titles?
Well, BR1 is a fully sustainable game model. It's pay to spawn, kill to earn. Using the $1 game mode as the example, you pay $1 to spawn. The guy who kills you gets the dollar you put up. I take a small percentage of their earnings. It's not play to earn. I don't sustain it with my investors' capital. The earn element comes as a product of what your opponent brings to the table. So as a result, as long as users play, I generate a fair revenue. I'm able to support my infrastructure and offer, you know, additional parallel revenue items like the sale of skins and operatives, like tournament entries and, you know, underlying functions for guilds. We're able to survive off of taking a percentage of rentals and royalties on transactions of these items, as opposed to charging the user outright for microtransactions. And it's always been making it tangible for the Web2 user, right? Like a new generation of people entering the Web3 gaming space that can't show up and be like, pay to spawn in Solana and connect your Soulflare wallet to play. And they're like, the fuck? You know, email, password, download, play. It has to align expectations. It has to be simple. But we do have a token generation event, and the token is designed to support the Web3 profile. The people who play my game download the game and play it. And the environment that you experience on the downloadable client and what you'll experience on the web portal will be drastically different. The website is designed for that core Web3 user, the guy who is in our ecosystem, maybe supporting the ecosystem, but he may not be playing the game every day. Then there's another side of the users, a whole other user bucket of people who are only playing the game every day, barely interacting with those web functions, designing incentives and rewards for athletes, audience members, content creators, and game investors, and building an ecosystem that is scalable between them. That's always been the design principle.
Nice.
Boom, let's freaking go, man. I'm bullish on BR1, not financial advice, but love the passion from Ryan, and seriously, so insightful. Like I'm learning a lot personally from this conversation. So thank you, GhostCat, for inviting Ryan to this.
No, dude, thank you for
Super
showing
fun
up.
to learn from him.
Both you guys, man. I'm excited for Shrapnel. I'm excited for BR1. I'm excited for a lot of things right now, but
I need a bigger hard drive.
I need
games.
I need more Solana. Oh, I was gonna ask actually.
I need more Solana too, man. Oh man.
Sneaky. I forgot to ask this question. What made you guys choose AVAX? Was it as the blockchain?
Yeah, yep. And again, that's just because of our gasless free to play experience that we needed at scale for our user base.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to do some trade offs with decentralization to actually achieve that. And so our Avalanche subnet, right, is just that. It's a subnet. It's privately controlled by us. We run the validators. We have full control over it. And that allows us to figure it in a way that we're able to dictate the experience for our users. So what that really means in practice is that if you're playing the game of Shrapnel, your gameplay isn't getting affected by other stuff that's going out on chain that you don't care about. So if there's a degen mint that's happening that's eating up a lot of block space, or some sequencer is going crazy and just spitting out whatever, or inscriptions even from like this latest craze, right? There's no like spikes in gas costs so that you have to be like, oh, I can't like play my gameplay session now because it costs more. I'm going to wait like 30 minutes or an hour. So it was really important for us to give a gasless experience to our users, not just like a low gas experience, but literally gasless, make it free. And that was really what made us land on Avalanche. And, the juxtaposition of that is, we get fudded for not being like as decentralized as we potentially could be if we were on a general layer 1 or even a layer 2 solution.
No, I think that's a great reason to choose. I think that'll play a lot better as the player base grows, and as you get players that are like, and other people that are into Web3 not having to worry about gas fees. Because bro, if gas fees on Ethereum, even L2s can get pretty high for moving stuff around.
Dude, literally it's terrible everywhere except for Solana. I think I've used,
I love Solana.
most layer 2s. Obviously Ethereum mainnet is still like, whatever, where it's at. Avalanche has some fucking issues, let me tell you, at least on the C chain. Inscriptions this past like few weeks totally like busted our ass. And so Solana's been able to like take the load, still have like under $1 or near dollar transactions. So you can see like meme coin and shitcoin mania going strong on Solana compared to other chains. So in terms of like a retail home for a lot of transactions, like I love Solana so much. I think it's great for that. And then I think other chains sort of have, their specific defined niches and use cases. And I think Avalanche is starting to have that through their subnets for folks who want a more private blockchain solution that can still integrate with public chains in terms of like, you can withdraw assets from our subnet and put that onto the C chain mainnet if you want to, versus like if you're a totally like private solution blockchain, you're like actually like fully enclosed in your walls, and it's like a lot harder to like have that interoperability. So like I see like that's where Avalanche is sort of positioning itself. It's like, okay, hey, if you want a lot more centralized control but the ability to talk to public blockchains, then come here, build us. Solana I'm seeing as like, retail chain, really cheap transactions for a lot of them for in terms of throughput. Anyone is able to really transact there easily. And so those clearly defined use cases, I think are really important, because you can see, all these other layer 2s who haven't clearly defined that yet are sort of just struggling because they're all sort of floundering, competing with each other to be like, okay, hey, like we're also a layer 2, an EVM layer 2, just like you. Oh, what's different about us? I don't know. Like, sure, the sharding versus rollups versus like no one gives a shit about like the technology differences in terms of consensus. What they give a shit about is the user experience, and if there's good dApps on your chain that people actually want to use.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that you were able to do that with AVAX. You have the gasless like transactions for users. I think that's really awesome.
Yes, sir.
And then I was curious, are users able to have multiple packs in their inventory?
That is a great question. So yes and no. You can redeem one of each pack, so you can get a heavy, a medium, and a light, so that you can get all of the contents. But by design, we made it so that you can only redeem one of each pack because these are for granting early access, and we want to get as many players into early access as possible versus people hoarding codes.
Yep.
So the only way to do that is be like, hey, if you're literally sitting on codes, it's worthless to you because you're not going to be able to redeem them. And if you want to go ahead and like try to bot it to, or not bot it, but like, create all these different accounts within our game to, be able to redeem these, go ahead and try. Like, you'll get a little bit far, but ultimately when you try to consolidate all of those pack items to a single account and try to bridge out, you're going to have some difficulties because to actually bridge out of our platform, right, to extract value that you've earned, you have to KYC. And that's just because of anti-money laundering laws, so that if, there's an Iranian weapons dealer that the government is like, hey, this guy's like a bad guy, you can't let him like take stuff off your platform, we have to shut it down. So same case, if we're seeing like illicit activity, you're breaking our TOS, things like that, because again, the centralized nature of our Avalanche subnet architecture, we're able to control the bridges, inflows and outflows from our ecosystem, such that if you're a bad actor, you try to do the actions that we don't like, we can shut you down. And that's against the ethos of decentralization, right? So we do get some backlash against that. But at the same time, we have to do that for legal reasons to protect ourselves against bad actors.
That makes sense. And then also, thank you guys for the gift. I just saw it in my inventory right now.
Yes, sir. That's also why you guys should all go and create Shrapnel.com accounts. And whether you have Extraction Pack yet or not, we'll randomly just give goodies to people who have created an account because those are people who have supported us. So dropping some alpha there. If you haven't created a Shrapnel.com account, go do so because literally we give out free stuff.
Dope.
Did you claim a call sign yet?
No, I don't have any Shrap in my account.
All right. You can call me Ghost Cat.
No.
You
Bro's
can
list
buy it
on the
from
market. $1,000. How do you get Shrap, actually? Is it just like you have to exchange it, or?
Yeah, so we're available on a few different centralized exchanges like KuCoin, Bybit. We're still trying to get listed on, major like US stuff, hopefully in time. And then we're also available on 3 different chains: Ethereum, Avalanche, as well as Binance Smart Chain. We're partnered with Layer 0, so you can go ahead and use Stargate as your bridge between those chains. So if you go to any of those decentralized liquidity pools, you can go ahead and get those, bridge them over to Avalanche, and then send those to your in-game wallet, and you'll be set to go with Shrapnel in your account.
Okay. Another question I had: when you connect your own wallet to your account, and if you were to like transfer one of your extraction packs to the wallet, it would still show in your inventory, yes?
Yeah, so the extraction packs themselves are just codes. So the codes are not NFTs. And then the items themselves will get airdropped, quote unquote, or they'll just like technically appear in your player inventory where you redeemed that code.
Okay.
But if, like, for example, you have an operator NFT or even an SCU unit, then those get detected by whatever wallet you connect up. And then if you want to, change whatever wallet you have connected, you could do so. If you like transfer your operator to something else, it's just looking at the assets in the wallet that you have connected.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna run a giveaway on my chat, guys. Sneaky from Shrapnel, thank you so much for joining, man. Ryan, thank you for coming too. You guys are awesome. Projects are awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited to play Shrapnel. Everyone could play BR1 now too while you wait. But yeah, I'm gonna be running a giveaway now for the extraction packs on Marbles on Stream. Which, by the way, guys, we were in that space. The owner of a studio that makes Marbles on Stream, he loves Solana, and they're working like on some Web3 projects and are even gonna have a collection. Dude, that's some huge. Alpha. That's huge.
Marbles is huge.
That's what I'm saying. Because Marbles on Stream is huge, bro. The fact that the owner freaking loves Solana and is working on Web3. That's humongous. Like I'm hyped
I
on
would get
that.
some marble NFTs. F it.
Dude, same. But yeah, that was some crazy alpha. But yeah, thanks guys for joining. I'm gonna run the giveaway. You guys don't have to be here for that. So if you guys, I know you guys are busy. Y'all are running companies here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the invite, Ghost Cat, and nice to meet you, Blosif. Definitely would love to come on again once early access is out and you're in the game to, get your reaction and also Blosif's reaction to, the early gameplay. But again, thank you for having me. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everyone out in the audience listening. Hope you guys win those extraction packs and get into early access. Thanks again for having us.
Yeah, man, thank you. And yeah, for sure, we'll make plans for when there's early access. Yeah, me and Blosif would enjoy that.
Yeah, thank you for the info. I appreciate it. And thank you,
And in the meantime, go play BR1 because it's available and you can practice your FPS skills. I know I'm going to go do some shopping after this call.
Nice. Let's go.
It was awesome to meet you, Ryan.
It was a pleasure meeting all of you. As always, I really appreciate you hosting this platform for us. And if you do have any questions about BR1 Infinite or sweeping our floors, you know where to find me. DMs are open.
Wait to sweep the floor, please.
Nah, dude, I just looked on the marketplace right now. Someone swept a legendary that somebody was selling for like 2.1 and it's gone, bro. No. Yeah, pain. Anyway, yeah, marketplace. Also, they're upgrading their art for their NFTs, so that's a W.
All right, catch y'all next time. Good luck with the marbles.
Deuces, man. Thank you.
Later, you have a good one.
All right, Blosif.